Hi guys, good evening. Monday evening, our second Monday of lockdown and our first golf lesson of lockdown. I'm here at home. We've just done our 5 mile walk. I hope you've had a good Monday and been able to get out and do a little bit of exercise. If you're interested, this is what a Golf Pros lounge looks like on lockdown. We've got the golf on the telly, watching the Solheim Cup from last year. Obviously very exciting. Got all the clubs there. My new set of clubs sat in the corner, no grips on. All looking very sad for themselves. Still got the wrappers on. Can't even get them out yet. So yeah, here we are today. Obviously, I wanted to do the first lesson. I wouldn't be doing my job properly if we didn't do the first lesson on the grip. Obviously, really, really important. I know some of you are probably looking at this video thinking, oh, God, I wanted something more interesting than that. We'll have plenty of really interesting stuff over the next couple of weeks, but I wouldn't be doing my job, as I say, if we didn't talk about the grip, or as we now call it, the hold. The reason we call it the hold is this is the grip, and we hold the grip. We always were taught, when I did my PJ training, we were always taught about the grip. But grip is a word. You wouldn't grip a baby, you would hold a baby. Grip always makes you sound like you're going to hold something really tight, whereas if you hold something, it tends to be a little bit more gentle. So we tend to prefer the word hold now, although I'm old school, obviously, and I still use the word grip sometimes. So forgive me if I say grip. We're talking about the hold. You can see I've got all sorts of pretty colours on my hands and the clubs. I'm trying to make this as comprehensive as possible for you. So just, you know, this is really important, obviously, how we hold the club. In golf, what we are trying to do is control the flight of the ball. The way we do that is with this bit, the club head, and the only connection we have with the golf club itself is obviously with our hands. So it's really, really, although it's fundamental and basic, it is so, so important. I think as golf pros, sometimes we're very guilty of not ignoring the grip, but because you guys come to us looking for something, you've got a certain subject that you want to look at, or you've got a problem with slicing it or bunker shots, we tend to sort of overlook the grip and the importance of it in lessons. I'm guilty of that, I'm sure, in some lessons. But I generally, when someone comes to me for the first time, I'm looking to give them a mark out of 10 for their grip. And there's not many people I give a 10 out of 10 to. And I'm sure I wouldn't be lying if I said 80 and 90% of you guys at home have not got the perfect 10 out of 10 golf grip, which is crazy when it's the one thing that requires absolutely no talent. So obviously swinging a golf club requires an awful lot of talent and coordination. Holding a golf club is, it requires 8 fingers, 2 thumbs, and yeah, it's pretty straightforward, really. It's just a bit of discipline, I guess, is the hardest thing. We got no excuse now because you can't hit any balls really other than in your garden or in the lounge. So there's no reason why over the next couple of weeks you can't practice this at home. I've got a training aid as well here. I know you can go online and buy some of these things. There's some great training aids where you could just sit here in the evening and practice this until it felt really comfortable. So let's get on with it. We're going to start with the left hand, or as we call the lead hand. The lead hand in golf. This is for a right-hander, obviously. I know there's some of you lefties out there, and I'm not going to be too leftist, but you guys are used to turning things the other way around. So we're going to start with the left hand. And you can see I've drawn some lines on here. I'm going to start with where we position our left hand and I've actually coloured in the end of my grip. One of my real bugbears is watching people grip it at the end of the club like this, and their hand is hanging off the end of the golf club. The heel of your hand, this bit of your hand, should be below or level with that line, at least 1/4 inch down the golf club. So we never want to see, a lot of you wear your glove out here. The reason you wear your glove out here and the reason the manufacturers put an extra pad there is because you guys don't grip it properly, and that's where you wear it out. The butt of the club, the heel of the hand, the butt of the hand should sit, as I say, about 1/4 inch down. That's why the manufacturers put a little line there. So that's the first thing. Where are we going to grip it? I've drawn some lines there. It's going diagonally across the palm, starting in the hook of the sort of index finger. And we really only grip it in the lead hand with those 3 fingers. Obviously, some of you will overlap, some of you will interlock, but really we're gripping it in that bit of the hand, okay, closing those 3 fingers over. They're the important ones, okay, these 2 fingers and finger and thumb are not so important at this stage. We're gripping it in those 3, making sure we're 1/4 inch down the club. I've also, you'll notice, got a red line down here. That's splitting the grip 2/3 and 1/3. The reason for that, you'll see the white line there. That's the manufacturer's white mark to denote where the middle of the grip is. I've put a red line there, 2/3, 1/3. You're going to cover with your thumb the right hand 2/3 of the grip. Okay, and you'll notice when I do that, you'll notice that the V that we create, you all know about the two V's, but this is really, I'm really trying to indicate there where those V's are. The two V's go up to the right, or right, they used to say right shoulder. I think it's more the sort of chest bone, really, or collarbone, sorry, not chest bone, your collarbone, in between your chin and your shoulder. So you'll see where that V is pointing. You also see I've marked my knuckles there with blue dots. You want to be able to see two of those knuckles. So the thumb is down the right 2/3 of the grip. The arrow there is going up to my collarbone. And you'll also notice that my thumb and end of my index finger are pretty much at a similar height on the club. We see a lot of people they have a long thumb, they go down the grip. Some people have a very short thumb. You know, try and get it in a pretty similar spot. All right, so there, look where I'm gripping it. 3 fingers, they're the gripping fingers. These two don't actually grip. The thumb has obviously control. This one might be an interlocking finger, but we're gripping it with the 3 fingers. We're then closing the fingers, wrapping the thumb over, covering 2/3 so that the V is pointing up to the collarbone and the 2 knuckles there. Okay, right, with the right hand now, okay, we're going to start, we grip with, I said, 3 fingers on the left hand. The only 2 fingers really that we grip with the right hand are the middle 2. And they're going to sit right where we left that other 1/3 of the grip, right next to the thumb. Okay, they're going to sit there, and then we're going to wrap. You can see where I've highlighted on my right hand where the thumb goes. We're going to wrap this bit over. And if you look at the shape of my thumb and the shape of our right hand, look how here, this shape of this pad here and the shape of my thumb, look how they just sit in. It's almost like a jigsaw. My thumb goes into those black lines, and this, look, it's exactly the same shape. It's like you were born to hold a golf club. There we go. That just sits right on top, and you'll see when that sits on top, you create the V here, and look again, my index finger and my thumb are the same length down the golf club. I haven't got one down here or my index finger down here. They're the same length, creating that V, and that V comes up a little straighter. I prefer to see it a little straighter. People in the old days used to say the 2 V's go up to the right shoulder. I think the left-hand V goes, as I say, to the collarbone, and the right one goes almost a little bit straighter. But if they're parallel, I'm more than happy with that. What you'll also notice is how and that's why I've drawn this black line on my left thumb here. We're trying to cover the whole of the thumb, my left thumb, with my right hand. So you won't see any of my left thumb, my gloved thumb whatsoever. Okay, those 2 hands snug in nice and tight. So you can see there, the 2 arrows are coming up to my sort of collarbone, or to the certainly right of center, and up the inside of my forearm. They're not going round to the right, they're coming up the inside of my forearm. As I say, I've got that 1/4 inch there, and the pressure of the grip will be sort of 3 or 4 out of 10, not any more than that. All right, now when we come to the back of the hand, obviously there are either chances to interlock or overlap. I actually use both. I interlock my fingers for my long shots, which is obviously the interlocking of the little finger and the index finger of the left hand, and I overlap for my short shots. Now that's just me. I don't necessarily teach anybody to do that. That's what I do. Why do I do that? Because when you have an overlapping grip, you have 4 fingers on the left hand of the golf club. When you have an interlocking grip, obviously you only have 3 fingers actually touching the golf club. So the left hand is much more dominant with an overlapping grip. Okay, with the index finger linked with the little finger, then only these 3 fingers are actually doing anything. So there is also the baseball grip, which I actually got down to 5 handicap with a baseball grip, and that's where none of the clubs interlock. But you can see when I do that, look what happens to my grip. These hands are now split. Look where that black line is, where I said I want to get the hands in close together. When I have a baseball grip, my right hand is too far down the club, and now my hands aren't joined together. By overlapping or interlocking, the two go together. So when you come in a bit closer there and see my hands on the golf club, you can see that the two arrows are pointing up the inside of my right forearm, up to my collarbone. My index finger and my thumb are the same height on the golf club. Checkpoints on the left hand, 3 fingers, thumb down the right 2/3 of the club, and again the V and the 2 knuckles there. If you can see that 3rd knuckle, then that's going to be too strong. Okay, so that's quite a comprehensive talk for lesson 1 on the grip, but that's something you can practice so easily. These training aids are great because it's almost impossible to not grip the club properly when you've got a training aid there. You can see my hands on the club with the training aid. It's exactly the same as on the other club. Okay, so there's other ones you can buy on the internet that will actually just clip onto your golf club. But the grip or the hold, as I said earlier, how we hold the golf club is really instrumental in controlling this bit, the club face, because that is going to be controlling this. And if we can control this with that, we're halfway there. And the hold is the way to do that. Hope you've enjoyed that, guys. Hope that's been informative. And we'll speak to you tomorrow. Guess what we're talking about tomorrow? Obviously, posture. Okay, have a good evening. Take care, guys. Bye.